Good morning, graduates of Transylvania College, and parents, and family, and teachers, and administrators, and support staff, and everybody else here, both physically in attendance and with us in our hearts, who could not make it, who helped make this day possible. I would also like to take a brief moment and thank all the previous speakers, particularly Ms. Simona for her passion and her vision, and for letting me borrow this blazer. And as well as Alexandra and Attila for their very heartfelt and entertaining speeches. I'd also like to thank my grandmother and my grandfather and my mom, who have very generously given me permission to leave their company in Bucharest and spend some time with you here today. I don't have any pictures or memories to share with you. Unfortunately, only my words, but I promise I will be quick with them. Now, I'm told that language of instruction at this school is English. So you're all fluent, which is an amazing advantage to you for the rest of your lives. But also advantageous for me right now because I don't speak Romanian very well, unfortunately. As you know, the instructor spoke, and as you may tell, I speak with an American accent because I grew up in America. Așa nu pot să vorbești românește foarte bine. But there's actually a saying in America, made popular by no less than Hillary Clinton, that I think it's appropriate to invoke here, that it takes a village to raise a child. And I'd like to make sure that we keep this message of gratitude and responsibility to all of the people who have invested in us in our education, in you and your education, while we are here celebrating your own accomplishments and your future successes. But today we're here thanks to you, to the efforts you have made to study and to learn and overcome all sorts of challenges and adversities, both inside and outside of the classroom, to get to this point in your life. You know, Transylvania College really represents the forefront of academic preparation and achievements here in Romania. I know, I was just on a tour yesterday, and you have one of the most amazing high schools I've seen in my whole life. I'm not just saying that because Simona's right there. But, you know, you could put together the best teachers and administration in the world and not have anything to show for it without the smart, hardworking, and dedicated learners such as yourselves. So, congrats again to you. And some of you, I'm sure, on top of all of your accomplishments, have excelled in spite of obstacles and challenges in your personal lives, in your families, in your health, or your well-being. And I want to particularly salute those of you and the teachers and friends who supported you for your strength and your courage. I remember my own high school graduation only 7 years ago, surrounded by friends, colleagues, and teachers, with a few speakers who came and went, and said some very nice things that I can't recall at this moment. And I don't remember this speech. I don't expect you to remember this speech either. Just so I don't expect you to remember everything that you learned in all of your classes and all of your exams. But I do hope that you remember the spirit and the values of what I came here to say, as well as the spirit and the values that you've learned here in your education. Because when I talk about a village raising a child, or overcoming obstacles inside and outside the classroom, or having the strength and courage to pursue your goals and achieve your dreams, I'm not just talking about some fairy tale or some kind of children's story. I'm also speaking from my own experience. I grew up as the only child of a single mom who emigrated to the United States to pursue a PhD in computer science. We were a small family, but a loving one, and even though we did not have it easy, my mother took the time to teach me important character traits and values, studying hard, good grades, strong work ethic, honesty and integrity in thought and action, compassion for others, and a sense of humor and optimism, even in the face of difficult circumstances. All these traits I later call upon myself when my mother was no longer able to parent me, after a tragic car accident in 2000, which left her mentally ill and physically deficient, whereupon I subsequently entered foster care for the first time. I was 10 years old. Growing up in foster care from age 10 until I graduated high school, I was luckier than many others in my position. I benefited greatly from the continuity provided by my schooling and my community. When I was removed from my mother's care, I was placed in a foster home in the same school district, thanks to the hard work of teachers, neighbors, social workers, and school administrators who actively intervened on my behalf. I even lived for a few months with my middle school principal, just to give you an idea of how much people were invested in my education and my well-being, and how much I am truly indebted to all of them. This continuity in care meant that even though I might live with a different family, I could at least count on having the same friends, and equally importantly, learning from the same teachers, many of whom I'm still in touch with today, who share with me my joys and accomplishments and my status updates on Facebook. I learned many things during my time in foster care. I learned the importance of a paper trail of properly documenting actions and activity for follow-up. I learned how to hold myself and others accountable for their promises and their responsibilities. I learned how to accept what I could not control in my life and focus single-mindedly on what I could. And I refused to allow myself to be distracted by circumstances. I refused to make any excuses. I would not accept no for an answer. Not for myself and not from anyone else. I strived to turn reasons for failure into obstacles to be overcome. And I quickly learned I couldn't do anything on my own. Everything on my own. In fact, I could hardly do anything entirely on my own. And I was certainly not flawless. I did not get to this podium to speak to you today about my life story and experiences without having made my own fair share of poor choices and mistakes. But I always strive to learn from them. I thought because I was so clever and so independent that I knew all the answers. And I was proven wrong time and again. But this meant that I needed to know how to ask for help and accept it, and get advice and at times redirection, even if it wasn't what I wanted to hear. And perhaps the most important part of not doing everything on my own meant having the confidence to reach out to strangers for help when I needed it. So why am I telling you all this? I mean, it's because you and I, you graduates and I, have so much more in common than you may realize, if not now, then soon. Some of you have already learned firsthand some of the lessons I've described for having overcome challenges in your personal or academic lives, maybe during or before your time here at Transylvania College. But almost all of you will certainly face deeper adversity in just the months and maybe a couple of years ahead. There's the loss of opportunity, the rejection for your dream job, the lifetime award you didn't win, the brilliant idea that no one else believes in, this illness or accident that can change everything in an instant. There's the loss of dignity, the sharp sting of prejudice when it happens, maybe for your gender, maybe for your nationality, maybe for your sexual orientation. And there's the loss of love, the broken relationships that can't be fixed, or the quiet permanence of death itself. And the question isn't if some of these things will happen to you, they will. But today I want to talk about what happens next. You must and you will find in yourselves the resilience and the motivation to carry on, knowing full well that everything that brought you to this moment in your life, the skills that have enabled you to succeed, to thrive, to graduate, have in fact fully prepared you for everything you'd possibly face in this world. I mean, just listen, armed with high school degrees, you have more knowledge than 99% of the humans that have ever walked on this earth. You already know worlds and philosophies and governments and sciences that Alexander the Great and Plato and Napoleon and Newton could only dream of knowing. And all this is before college. But when I speak to the skills to succeed, I'm not only speaking to you about the intellectual knowledge you have. That alone is rather superficial. I want to highlight two other traits that I consider far more important. First, the strength of character and the courage that lies in each and every one of you, that you have called upon more than once in your studies here, perhaps even without knowing it was there, and which will always be with you wherever you may go from here. That inner strength only deepens with age and life experience, but even now, for you, it is stronger than you could possibly imagine. And besides this inner strength, the resilience to carry on in the face of adversity, there is one other attribute that I want to highlight. It is the combination of self-confidence, optimism, and hope that enables you to more than just simply survive and overcome in the face of obstacles, but also thrive and succeed in everything that comes forward in life. As children, we are taught to be humble, to wait our turn, that all good things come to all good people in time. And this is not true. I say this for all of our young graduates, and especially for the young women in the audience. If you don't seize an opportunity for fear that it's unattainable, for humility that perhaps you don't deserve it, or for whatever reason, you will not achieve it. The end. Not now, not ever. You will miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, and God only helps those who help themselves. So keep your eyes open for the opportunities to advance your goals, your drive, your talents, and your dreams, and look for role models and mentors to help you get there. When you see someone achieving something that you've always dreamed of, don't think that could never be me, but instead, why not me? When you see someone doing the impossible, don't think, I could never do that, but instead, how do they do that? And how can I do that too? And when you see someone taking their idea and running with it, innovating, traveling, or simply just being happy with life, think, if they can do it, so can I. So whether you're pursuing your dreams in medicine or law, in journalism or teaching, whether you stay in Romania or are on your way to Japan, or maybe you're just not so sure yet, and you're all young and have plenty of time to decide, to change your mind, to make mistakes and move on. Whatever paths you decide to embark on, I'm so excited to see the impacts that you will have, both here in Romania and abroad. I have no doubt that with graduates like you, our country and the world will be a stronger, happier, safer, and fairer place. Stay resilient and strong. Stay confident and hopeful. The future is truly yours. Thank you.